News. There is a lot of it today. Lawsuits, businesses being destroyed, disgraced streamers returning, and we're going to talk about all of it today on this episode of YouTube Drama News Alert. Yeah, let's get into it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Tom Dark channel. I'm your host, Tom Dark, and yeah, like I said, there's a lot going on today, so without further padding out the video to lengthen it so I can put more ads on it and earn more revenue off of talking about petty internet feuds, let's jump right into it with Philip the Freakhole.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Scarce here.
Well, firstly in the news, we've got Atriak returning. You guys may remember that recently Atriak got into a controversy over a month ago when he was caught watching deep-faked adult videos. Basically, he was on stream live and he tabbed into another page and he got caught being on a website which was dedicated to making adult videos using the likeness of various streamers, one of which being Cutie Cinderella, or Ludwig's girlfriend. Ludwig is Atriak's business partner, so as you can imagine, that made things pretty awkward, and the drama caused a lot of issues for them. There was this big apology stream with Atriak and his wife where they were both crying and it was just like a major disaster. And basically what happened was Ludwig made a video condemning Atriak, being like, you know, there's no way I can be friends with you. And then Cutie Cinderella did a podcast where she talked about how even, you know, being friends with his wife is kind of over and she doesn't feel like she can go on with that. And she feels like Atriak hasn't really, you know, at least at that time, she felt he hadn't really made up for his actions and wasn't acting properly. He wasn't apologizing to the right people. It was just an overall, like, huge mess, man.
Atriak never intended to be the Typhoid Mary of D.
Of course. If he would have called me on a Tuesday and he's like, hey, I looked at this 3 weeks ago. I'm so sorry. I think I could find a place and I could forgive him for that. But the problem is like, he apologizes and he sends me an apology. I said, why the fuck are you apologizing to me? You haven't apologized to Pokey. You haven't apologized to Maya. And I said, why the fuck do I keep telling you what to do? This is like, you can't say you're sorry if you're not doing anything without me telling you to do it. Like, I'm done. I can't keep helping you. I said to him, you are paying for every single girl to get clean. You're doing it. You're paying for it. 80 to 100K.
God damn.
That's how I feel. I genuinely don't care because he caused the harm. He has to fix it.
If you are a young man, have questions about this shit, listen to women and see the real impact that it has on real people. Listen to the women that it actually affects and you'll learn a lot.
Well, now we have a bit of an update on the situation because Atriak recently came back and said he will be going after these websites that use these streamers' likeness to make adult content. He's partnered up with a law firm and is going to be fighting the people who caused this whole mess in the first place. Well, maybe not. I mean, Atriak really is the one who caused it by, looking at that kind of stuff and, like embarrassing his friends and himself and his wife and whatever. But, he's going to be hunting down the source of the content, so to speak, to try to make up for what he did in the past, because obviously previously he was helping them profit by like being on their website or whatever, and now he's going to go after them and try to get all these guys shut down.
I wanted to give briefly a moment and just say that I really apologize for the last time I was live. That live stream was terrible. Ari and I had been up since 2 a.m. just mainlining LSF comments, and my brain was just total TV static. Like I wasn't thinking, I was rambling, and I just apologized. It was bad. So I don't want to dwell on that, but I feel like it needed to be said. So okay, it's about a week after. Right? It's a week after the event. And the first thing I did was I wired Morrison Rothman about $60,000 to cover any woman on Twitch who wanted to use their services, their legal services, for DMCA takedowns or reputation management. That's only step one, and that's just money. That's not a huge deal, but I just want to just how it started. And that was because Cutie has worked with them for a very long time. She recommended them to all the women involved and then told me. So I just covered to make sure anyone who was using it, I think that's baseline, anyone who's using it is not financially impacted. All right? But the important thing is that now I had a connection and in with Morrison Rothman, so I was able to ask questions and just see what the process is for takedowns and actually learn more about how this process works. So you can see if we can help or make it better or do anything like that. This is all relatively recent. It takes a few days per person, right? But we got like Pokemon went live 2 days ago. And again, an incredible amount of takedowns. Like we got, I think 2,000 things already, like more than everyone else combined almost for Pokemon. So taking down, which is awesome. Yeah, so that's the DMCA. And again, I'm not saying that there's no use for the legal side. I think this bot is incredibly useful because the vast majority of what you need to get done is just takedowns.
And there are also articles about it coming out and basically saying that he wants to come back and like make amends for what happened and atone for his sins, so to speak, to be a better person. During yesterday's new stream, which periodically stopped and restarted because of tech issues, Ewing also claimed that he was contacted by Genevieve O, who he described as a leading researcher in the fight against deepfakes. Ewing said O sent him a 25-page document that she had compiled about the technology behind deepfakes and how the rapid leaps the tech has taken in recent years is contributing to its prevalence today. Kotaku also received a document from O when the controversy first began, and can confirm that it contains the information Ewing discusses in his stream. It also explains how just a few years ago, the technology required to create deepfake content required a lot more computing power than it does today. Now, there are even phone apps that can make passable deepfakes, hence why the content is proliferating on social media and the internet in general. Ewing thanked O for getting him up to speed faster than he could have on his own, but said his initial reaction to the prevalence of this content and the difficulty inherent in removing it was depression. However, he said he then shifted focus, narrowing his scope so that he could hone in on things he could control. Using Genevieve's doc and my own research, I tried to find the bright spots in the fight against this kind of content, he said, and according to him, there's one group of people who are way better at fighting against deepfake content and getting it taken down. So regardless of what you think about Atriak, you know, what he did initially, what happened back then, some people were disgusted with him, some people were like super outraged. I kind of fell on the side of like, I guess it's wrong, it's messed up, but I'm not personally invested, it didn't personally hurt me, so I don't know how I'm supposed to be really mad at him about it. It's like, it really was just between, you know, private individuals who, you know, I have no involvement in, but obviously like it is an awkward situation to be, you know, spanking the monkey, okay? Gripping the joystick to content of your friend's girlfriend. That's pretty effed up. But I mean, you got to give props to the guy for doing his best to make the situation right and to help out the people who he initially hurt. He's putting real money towards it and working with a law firm to file takedowns against these sites that host content using someone else's likeness for fake adult videos. And that's probably a good thing. So, you know, good for him. And congrats to Atriak for striving to be a better person and improving. This is the part of the video where I'm supposed to just like call him a freak or something irredeemable. But honestly, you know, I don't think he is. Given what he's doing right now, I think he's probably, you know, becoming a better person. And he really wants to, you know, make up for the hurt that he caused. So yeah, ultimately, you know what? Pretty happy ending. Or maybe the start of a happy ending. Redemption arc for Atriak. And his fans seem to be pretty accepting of the return too. They said his response was really good and they're looking forward to whatever happens. So yeah. Now for our next story, a bunch of YouTubers have been named in a $1 billion class action lawsuit. Now a lot of you guys have probably heard of FTX, but maybe if you don't pay attention to the financial world, then you don't really know what happened. Well, to give you a quick summary, FTX is a company that was responsible for doing cryptocurrency exchange, and that was really what they specialized in. FTX stands for Futures Exchange. Well, to make a long story short, it turned out that the people that ran it were mismanaging the funds of their customers. I don't want to get too technical, but basically a ton of people lost money as a result of having their funds in FTX, and it was the direct result of the people at the top, namely Sam Bankman-Fried, the face of the company, not being honest with how that money was being handled. People tried to get their money out, but FTX couldn't come up with the money. It was gone. FTX is now bankrupt, SBF got arrested, and he's now out on bail awaiting trial. He's facing 115 years in prison for what he did. Now, part of the reason why FTX was so successful in the first place and got so many investors was celebrity endorsements. Tom Brady, Larry David, Kevin O'Leary are just a few of the names that directly endorsed FTX and said it would be a great company for you to put your personal funds into. And this also included a lot of YouTubers like Graham Stephan and Meek Kevin, people who are specifically financial YouTubers who are now listed in a $1 billion lawsuit. And some of these YouTubers like Meek Kevin are now saying that they do not deserve to be listed on this lawsuit and they do not hold responsibility for anyone who lost money, right? They're saying like, I don't deserve to be here. Even though I promoted the company, I shouldn't be on this lawsuit because it's not my fault. The lawsuit, filed Wednesday in the Southern District of Florida, alleges that a group of 8 YouTubers and the influencer management firm Creators Agency, who had many clients who hyped FTX, had promoted, assisted in, and or participated in the sale of unregistered securities by the crypto company. The filing cites a high-interest account in which customers could store their crypto holdings. The lead plaintiff in the case is Edwin Garrison, an Oklahoma resident who is also leading a separate class action lawsuit against celebrities like Tom Brady for their roles in advertising FTX. Garrison's lawyer, Joseph Kay of the Moskowitz law firm, previously told BuzzFeed News that his client was trying to save money for his granddaughter and lost his entire investment. In the case against the YouTubers, Garrison was joined by FTX investors from around the world, including the UK and Australia. Adam Moskowitz, the attorney representing the plaintiffs, told BuzzFeed News, influencers are paid just like all other promoters and thus must be held accountable. They are paid so much because they play an important role with social media in making financial decisions. Now, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty here, you have to basically assess two sides of the argument. You have to assess a few big questions. Firstly, what responsibility do YouTubers or content creators have to always promote a good product or never promote a bad one? How culpable are they if something they promote and give their seal of approval ends up being a terrible investment? Is it their fault, or is the onus entirely on the people in the audience who decided to listen to their endorsement full well knowing that it was a paid ad and then invested their own money anyway, right? I can't speak from a legal standpoint on this. I don't really know. I mean, ultimately, we'll just have to see what comes of it in that way. That being said, as far as the arguments, in my personal opinion, I think that some responsibility has to fall on both, you know? When you're a YouTuber with a large platform, you have some responsibility to vet the products you promote. If those products end up being misleading, obviously you can be criticized for that. But on the other hand, if you have money and you invest it somewhere, you make that decision regardless of who gives you that advice, you know? I mean, in the case of Edwin Garrison, the lead plaintiff in the lawsuit, it says he invested a ton of money for his granddaughter, right? And that sucks, but, you know, at the same time, cryptocurrency is not a super safe investment, and he did, you know, take on some level of risk. You always do when you invest money, especially in something, you know, that can be super volatile, like cryptocurrency. You know, this relatively new technology. I don't know where I fall on this totally, honestly, because I see the argument that these YouTubers share some responsibility and should be criticized, but also, you know, every individual has a responsibility to deal with their own money wisely and be careful, right? You have to take responsibility for whatever may happen to it when you make a risky or unorthodox move. And so in that way, you know, I'm not sure which side I fall more on, but I do see both sides, okay? I'm fence sitting today, guys. I'm Boogie2988. I'm sitting on the fence. The fence is being crushed under my massive weight.
Yeah, Ed. Yeah, Ed.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure you guys know what FaZe Clan is, one of the biggest businesses in gaming, which is also a huge piece of internet culture, a huge part of internet history in the last 10 years. I mean, just a massive, massive name, FaZe Clan. My dad probably has heard of FaZe Clan. Well, in October 2021, the company went public on the New York Stock Exchange and managed to achieve a $1 billion evaluation.
We've grown and evolved so much over the last 11 years into a global lifestyle and media platform.
We really couldn't have done it without you guys, the fans.
You guys are FaZe Clan.
And so that's why we're excited to share this announcement personally with you.
FaZe Clan is going to become a public company.
FaZe Clan is going to become a public company.
It's going to be on Wall Street, guys.
And without you guys, obviously, this would never be possible.
This is a natural next step in the growth of FaZe.
And the growth of what FaZe Clan is.
The team that came from making trick shots is now going public. How crazy is that?
And everyone saw this as a super exciting move, you know, for FaZe to be a company that can be publicly traded by investors. That's a huge win for them. And honestly, it was a win for esports and YouTubers in general. The idea that some kids who started out playing video games in their bedrooms, you know, broke kids who just, like, they had nothing, right? Talking on Call of Duty, and the idea that they posted that, and from that point in like 2010, 2011, 2012, they managed to get to 2021 where their company was worth $1 billion. I mean, I found it inspirational, and I think a lot of other people did too, you know? It's a great story. It's a rags to riches type thing. I mean, they were getting people like Snoop Dogg on board after this evaluation, and it was just a huge deal. People thought FaZe could not be stopped, and I mean, it's been around so long at this point, it feels like, how could they have any major issues, right? You think it'd all be ironed out and keep going up and up. Well, as it turns out, no. As it turns out, their stock price crashed completely, and they're now at risk of being delisted from the New York Stock Exchange. Apparently, the company has been unable to make any money. They blow it all on stupid shit that does not help them make more money. They're just like dumb investments. There's not enough content going around. Apparently, the members of FaZe Clan, you know, the content creators who are the core of FaZe, are not being paid enough and have been locked into these terrible contracts. Meanwhile, the company itself is just in the toilet. It's non-functional. It doesn't work. Now, a ton of FaZe members have spoken out about this, like FaZe Adapt.
For starters, obviously, there's a lot of problems with FaZe Clan. There's a lot of problems inside the company, outside the company, things that if it were up to me, I would handle differently, but it's not up to me. It's never been up to me. There's conversations that happen, decisions that get made that I'm not in the room for, that I'm not a part of. I'm not a founder, right? I've never been a founder. I'm not able to move the mountains that guys like Apex, Banks, Tommy, and Norden can, and that's fine. That's how it's always been, but in my eyes, I'm looking around and I'm trying to think, how can I help? How can I help out FaZe Clan, right? Because I love FaZe. I love this brand. I love what we've built over the years. It's such an important part of my life and has continuously been such an important part of my life.
FaZe Rain has also come out and said the company has been screwing him out of money and they're in deep shit.
For detail, I know a lot of people are saying you're milking this, just tell us already, This is a decade-long problem, man, with a lot of legal shit around it. So now it's turned into multiple problems. It's not just the initial problem I had in the beginning, it's a lot deeper than that. And yes, I'm gonna say this now because they're probably gonna try to say, well, he's only doing this because we owe him money and he's mad. They do owe me money, yes, and they haven't taken care of me, yes, and the money that I bought the Counter-Strike team for, it took them 6 years to pay me back, yes, I never got a dollar or brand deal, yes, that's all to me. They're gonna say that, and that is a frustration of mine, but I obviously held that in for years. I held that frustration in for years, and it was never the reason that I was gonna do this or speak publicly, because if they just owed me money, I would have handled it a different way. This is a lot deeper than that, and a lot of my brothers don't see the actual issue here. They are being taken advantage of. I have to be careful with what I say.
FaZe Tico has also made a video about the issues with the company.
The fact that I have to sit here and make a video as someone who's been a member for 12 years to get anyone's attention, to be taken seriously, is crazy to me. I've tried to solve this privately for years. For f***ing years. The fact that I care this much and I'm not even a real owner. Everyone has made it very clear that I'm not an owner and I'm not even near any of the top dogs and I don't matter for shit. You've showed me over and over and over again that I do not mean shit. to you all. How are you going to be the biggest organization in the world? Leaders in this scene, pushing this scene forward, pushing this industry forward, leading by example, and you can't even take care of your members that's been in for 12 years.
And basically the common denominator here seems to be that the decisions around FaZe have been given to, these suits, these investors at the top who have no idea how to make content or grow this brand. They're not, educated in this space. They just kind of came in during this, billion-dollar valuation around the time that happened, and they kind of took the reins of the company, and they've been mismanaging it ever since and making a lot of stupid decisions. And unfortunately, a lot of the people who are members of FaZe Clan who have been around for a while, unfortunately, they can't really say much about it. They can't really argue because they're just not in that kind of position, All they know how to do is celebrity endorsements, but what these people forget is what made FaZe, what it was in the first place was all of the content back in the day, the videos of those guys just hanging out, having fun in COD lobbies or, doing dumb challenge videos together. I mean, that's what made FaZe what it was in the first place. It was connecting to those personalities and finding them relatable, kids all over the world connected to people like FaZe Banks. And speaking of Banks, actually a paparazzi or journalist, I don't really know what this guy is, but you guys know what I mean. One of the people that just like waits for someone to get out of their car and then like confronts the celebrity in the street to ask them about something. They follow people around, One of those guys confronted FaZe Banks, who's one of the founding members of FaZe Clan, and he talked to him about the situation, and Banks basically just said that he's not going to comment on it too much, but he thinks that Rain and the people calling out the company are just wrong.
Hey, FaZe. Hey, what's up, Banks?
Hi, brother.
How you doing? I just have a quick question for you, man.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about FaZe Rain? He's uploaded this YouTube video about exposing FaZe and stuff that happened behind the scenes.
To expose. We've lived our whole adult life on the internet, and that's my brother, and I won't speak a negative word about him.
Okay.
He's tripping a little bit. He's tripping a little bit.
What do you think he's talking about? Like, what's up with that?
Ask him. That's the beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Speech and communication. Ask him.
So, like, he's...
Ask him.
All right, well...
We all got stories. We all got shit to talk about.
Okay.
Ask him.
All right, FaZe, take care.
I mean, even Mr. Beast has called out FaZe Clan, saying that the content creator should be the one in charge, not whoever it is now. And he actually said that when he went to visit them, the higher-ups had absolutely no idea how to make good content. And when Mr. Beast is saying that, the guy who's like at the top of YouTube, he's spitting facts, so to speak, okay? He's spitting fire. For me to see all this happen, it's pretty surreal, I was never a huge fan of any of these guys, but I mean, everyone knows what FaZe is. They were so famous that it kind of became a joke to like reference the clan back in 2015 to 2017 during the Counter-Strike days. Kind of like during the peak of FaZe popularity, and the name is just synonymous with gaming culture. Obviously, as for the details and specifics of what is going on behind the scenes, we really just don't know, and I assume that due to contracts, a lot of the specifics can't be really talked about. What we do know is that there's this 80-20 split in favor of FaZe for a lot of members, which is a huge amount of money for the company to take and not do too much in return, especially with how it's like going down the toilet now. But apart from that, we really have no knowledge of the specific internal company politics at play, and we may never know. If we do find out, I imagine it'll be in a few years, if this whole thing gets straightened out at all. And I imagine it's a lot to explain given that Rain said that this is like 10 years of buildup in the making that kind of just popped at this moment, This has been a long time coming, apparently.
I love you to death, bro, and I've made this very clear to him multiple times. Like, I've told him, like, bro, we're not even owners like that, too. Sometimes he'd be like, it's your shit. I'm like, bro, it's not. Like, I know you think because number-wise we have more shares, but it's not enough that we have a controlling stake in the company, that we own the company, we decide everything. It's not like that. So sometimes he's a little disconnected on that. I guess he just feels because we have a lot more shares in him that, like, we have a lot more shares, they care about us. Bro, if they did, why would I have done what I did if I was in that situation? But so you have to realize, like, it's all of us. And that's like why I came out and spoke about things, because it's not just affecting me. I realized, like, wow, if they could do this to me, they could do this to anybody, which they clearly did. So that's why I spoke, because it's bigger than me. It's bigger than us, bro. It's bigger than, it's for FaZe. It's for the future FaZe. It's for the current FaZe. It's for the past FaZe. All that, like even seeing things like someone like Ramos, one of the legends, having as much shares as an employee that just came in for no reason, is an assistant of an assistant. It's like, why? You know what I mean? Like, in what world does Ramos have the same shares and contributed to FaZe the same way that a new employee who's an assistant has? Like, I just can't see it, but it is what it is, right?
I honestly think that FaZe should have stayed a private company and never gone public. When you have a company that's built on individual creators and the whole point of it is content creation, this kind of corporate business structure is just bound to fail. You get too many cooks in the kitchen. It sounds corny to say, but the point of this stuff is personalities, it's heart, it's what people feel. It's not these like super calculated business decisions of like, let's get Snoop Dogg and let's get this brand to collaborate with us. Let's get Taco Bell. Like, that's just not how this kind of stuff works. You have to have kind of a core of great content at the heart of it, I mean, what made FaZe popular in the first place was just people like Banks playing video games, people like FaZe Rain. But now it's just kind of become this faceless corporation, and it kind of sucks, man. It sucks to see. I hope that, the people involved manage to pull FaZe out of the gutter it's in and return it to its former glory, but whether or not that happens remains to be seen. The last time IRL streamer Ice Poseidon was in the news, it was because he scammed his audience. Ice took part in a pump and dump crypto scheme wherein he promoted a shitty cryptocurrency to his fans, and then when he would have made the most money off of it, he decided to sell his shares, leaving him with $300,000 and his fans with nothing.
And when I confronted Ice Poseidon, who's better known by his real name Paul Danino, about this scam, he was shockingly honest.
You want to keep the money that's not yours, that you took from the project, even though you failed to deliver.
I mean, I'm not really sure what you want me to say, but yeah.
I'm trying to like get you to return the money because it's 100% still available and you could do that.
Yeah, I could give the money back. It is within my power. But I'm going to look out for myself and not do that. I don't like know what else to say. That's just the most honest answer.
And he basically expressed no remorse at this time for what he did when he was called out for it. Now, a lot of people criticized him for what he did, but some people thought it was kind of like based, I guess, that he scammed people and then just admitted to it and it was like, yeah, you know, I did that. I needed money, I needed to scam my fans, and I basically just got what I wanted, you know? He did it and he admitted to it in typical Ice Poseidon fashion. He kind of just does things and then is like, yeah, I did a shitty thing. Yeah, guys, I did a shitty thing. So what? Like what are you gonna do? You know, like I did it and stuff, you know? I mean, the guy just kind of seems like a shit individual in general, you know? This situation definitely soured my opinion on him a lot, but he's now apparently gonna be doing an IRL stream with Aiden Ross.
What's up with you?
What's up, Paul?
So, India, huh? You were like, oh yeah, should I go? I don't know if you have the heart for it. Would you actually go to India, a third world country, with me?
It's third world? What does that mean?
It means that they have 5-star resorts and really great food.
Hell yeah, what the f***? Let's do it. Wait, what?
You know, it's actually more luxurious than Miami.
Really?
Yeah. You know India, right? Come on, you've heard of India.
I know, but I don't know what really goes on over there, bro. Isn't there like I don't want to be racist, isn't there like a disease called like Ebola?
No, that's in Africa, bro. You good. This is India. Yeah,
bro,
no,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm with it, bro. Wait, hold on. So if here's the deal. We can put it in a whole agreement, handshake agreement. If I go to India with you and we do content, you will sign a kick deal.
All right, deal. You come to India, I'll go on kick.
And you're gonna go back to doing your crazy streams you used to do?
Yeah, I mean, I just got done doing a 2-month-long subathon in Japan. So that's why I'm going to India. I'm going to do a subathon there.
And the funny thing about this is that both of these people have done rug pull crypto scams on their audience. I mean, these guys both have used their fans and squeezed them dry for a quick bag, so to speak. But regardless of that, you know, regardless of how you feel about that, I think there's kind of more people willing to admit that not that they both make pretty interesting content. You know, Ice Poseidon undeniably was a big cultural force on Twitch back in the day. I haven't seen his content recently, but I know he did like a subathon in Japan recently for 2 months that a lot of people enjoyed. Obviously, Aiden Ross is, you know, he's cringy, he does this, he does that, but there's some good Aiden Ross content out there, and I even as a certified Aiden Ross hater, okay, I can't even deny that, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be dishonest about it or anything like that. He's made some fire stuff before, okay?
Bro, why'd you slam it that hard? What the f?
So it should be interesting to see how this IRL stream goes. I guess Aiden is also like kind of being the guy who brings talent to Kick now. You know, you saw in that clip that he's trying to get more people on board with the site, so that's pretty cool. I honestly hope it succeeds, you know. I like to see competition against Twitch, but at the same time, both of these dudes are f***ing shitheads, so I don't know, a little bit of a tepid endorsement from me. Ultimately, I think the greater good of supporting Kick matters more than my personal, you know, distaste for these knuckleheads, but that is what it is. A lot of people will be mad at these guys for being edgy or whatever, or being dicks, you know. I think that, ironically, more people are mad at Aiden now for showing Nazi shit on his stream than when he scammed his fans, which I think is, you know, a really stupid kind of misalignment of priorities, but oh well. I don't really care about any of that stuff. I just hate rug pulls. I think it's super shitty. It sucks. Anyway, next story. Now, last time I talked about just Minx, it was because of her alcohol issues. She basically got a party shut down at the Streamer Awards and made a lot of people mad. Well, now Minx is kind of on this public downward spiral. She appears to be kind of drinking more and more. She's doing streams where she just kind of rambles, and she had an argument with her family on stream during which she accused her sister of being a nonce, being a and it basically turned into a complete like screaming match fest live on the air. The clips I'm seeing are fucking wild.
And then you're coming into my room after line drop. Fucking viewer, did you? Because you have a problem. Yeah, I have a problem. You have a problem. Did you not do it?
I want to get cancelled. Will you stop being a fool? Stop being a fool, an aggressive fool.
We were having a great fun night.
Oh no.
Why are you lying? This all happened. Why do you go to viewers? Because your boyfriend is underage. What? Yeah. That's not true. Oh no. Oh no. That's not true. You like little man. That's not true. You don't like that? You don't like when I tell the truth? That's not. You like little man. That's not. But like she fucks.
Keep in mind, she's supposed to be boxing soon in a professional influencer boxing match, so not really sure how that's gonna work out. I assume between this, she's not hitting the heavy bag too much, but I could be wrong, but just kind of seems like things are off track for that. Maybe hard to get that one together. But yeah, that about wraps up the drama, YouTube, Twitch, internet, culture, Pepe Kekistan news for today. The talk of the town for today. If you guys enjoyed this video, then be sure to leave a like on it. If you disliked it, leave a dislike, and drop a comment down below giving me your thoughts on everything that's happened recently. As a final little message, I want to thank you guys for all the insane support in the videos recently. I really do appreciate it. Like, it has been, really great to see this channel take off again and people appreciating the videos. I know I went on the hiatus for a while, but promise you guys I'm going to try to be back here as consistently as possible making videos. I love making content and seeing your reactions to it, seeing how you feel about it. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next video real soon. Bye.